Hey guys, it's Krista Marie here. This is Married at First Sight. I'm going to give my unpopular opinion. So I didn't do week one with Married at First Sight. I do follow the show. I have some opinions. Week one is before even the weddings. All the weddings were finished. So I have my binder here. So bear with me, guys. My hair's getting my face. I am going to go through the couples one by one and give you my predictions and my opinions on this episode. It gets freaking weird, y'all. Like, this episode, these couples, like, I'm gonna say this. Oh, hear that? Freaking, my hair's a mess. I'm gonna say this. Out of all the seasons, this is the first season where I believe that all but one couple will make it. Usually I say about 50%, and we're usually right. This, I believe, is one couple's not gonna make it. I think the rest will, but let's just get into this real quick. Alright, so bear with me because I have a binder here. Now, Mark and Lindsay. Lindsay's the blonde, the tall blonde. What I think about Lindsay is, she is going to be exhausting. I think that she is going to exhaust Mark. Do I think he can deal with her? Probably. I feel like this might be a Stassi and Bo thing where, like, there's somebody for everyone. And so this chick, right, she seems like she's constantly passively, aggressively in victim mood, right? She has already had 2 or 3 arguments with the other couples. She had an argument. Well, okay, so during the before they got married, the women meet for the first time and they have a bachelorette party. The other bride, ALYSSA, was there, and Lindsay was kind of rude to her and called her like boring because the girl just kind of sat in the corner and didn't talk to anybody. But, however, now we're in week 2. We see why. Okay, I'll get into ALYSSA. We're gonna do her next because that's a lot. But anyway, so Lindsay, she kind of has a little spat with her, thing. Fast forward to the wedding. She's at her wedding. They're getting ready to go to the honeymoon, and they're going to Puerto Rico. Lindsay makes a comment to all of the couples and says that that is a country that they speak Spanish, and that if they know how to speak Spanish, they should think about speaking only Spanish there. These people get extremely offended, and they just kind of tell her to mind her business. I mean, she was kind of like condescending when she said it, so that's argument number 2. They have to be separated. We go to the next scene. We have Lindsay sitting on the balcony. She's triggered. She's explaining her PTSD that she has. I mean, she's telling us all, And then Mark's her protector, and she's never had that before, and he's going down. He's going to talk to the guy's name is Juan that she had an argument with one of the other brooms. And she's just thankful that she has him, and she has a protector finally. Nobody's ever done that for her. Now, as far as they're concerned, I really believe that they've connected on like a good level. Now, she also talks about her mom and how her mom's never loved her, and she's always wanted her mom's approval. So I'm not one to say she's a liar. I think that her perception is her reality, and she perceives everybody as always victimizing her. She's always a victim of somebody, something. I used to be the same way, so I get it. I don't see at her age it working out very well for her. She's going to have to learn that is very exhausting. So, she's now had 3 arguments with people. Okay, wait. So we did the Spanish one. Okay. Third argument is there a third? I don't know. Anyway, she's exhausting. I'm sure there's another one. So what do I think about them? I think, like I said, they have this mom connection where her mom did not go to the wedding. I don't know why. Like, okay, say if you have a toxic mom, you have toxic family. Your mom not to come to your wedding is kind of big. So I'm kind of curious to see what happened with that. Mark, he's a really great guy. He seems like a great stand-up guy. It seems like he can put up with her. He laughs at her. They seem like they have chemistry. I think they consummated their marriage. That's my prediction with them. So I'm giving predictions and what I think happened on the first night. I think they're going to make it. I think that he can handle her. I think if anybody can, he can. Now, it is only week 2. I've only seen 2 episodes of these people. So I also didn't believe that the one couple a couple seasons ago would make it. I didn't think that they would stay married, and they're still together, and they're still happy. And if I can remember their names, it was the bald guy, the chick with the red hair, and they're on the show that's on the spin-off that they have, and they just move back and forth. I forget their names. Anyway, I didn't think they'd work out, and they did. Okay, so back to Lindsay and Mark. They're on their honeymoon, and I guess they don't end up hanging out with the couples for the rest of the time that we see on this episode, so I don't know what happens with that. But moving on. Now, I'm going to skip ahead. I was going to do Chris and Alyssa last, but since they have a lot of stuff going on, I will go into them. Chris and Alyssa. Now, I had no inkling that she was as bratty, snotty, bitchy as she is. Okay? She has completely decided that she does not like Chris. Okay, let me just tell you what happens, right? They have the wedding. The first thing that you hear, red flag number one, is they're getting ready for the wedding, and she says before she gets walking down the aisle, if I turn the corner and he's got snaggletooth, that's it. It's over. I'm out. Over that. Okay. I get it. I don't like snaggletooth either. But girlfriend, you agreed. Now let's just remember this mental note. Agreed to be on a show called Married at First Sight. So you marry these people, you don't know them, you don't know their names, you don't know anything. Snaggletooth is a literal possibility. Anything's a possibility. So if you don't want a snaggletooth, I suggest you not get married at first sight. Okay, so you can tell right away she's not into him. I mean, and it is bad. So he thinks, he's walking into this and he's going to meet a girl who's going to give him a chance. I mean, all right, I'm just going to get to the meat and potatoes of this bullshit, okay? This CUNT, when you get to the scene where they're getting ready for their wedding night before they even leave for the honeymoon, this man's by himself and he is miserable, okay? And Alyssa has decided that she does not feel comfortable staying with this man tonight. Now, any other circumstances, that makes sense. But this is your wedding night. You married the man on first. Married at first sight. Remember this mental note. Okay, now if something is completely awry, I understand. Okay, maybe the first night, it's whack. I feel bad for the dude. I mean, if anything, she has made up her mind, okay? Now, they spend the night alone. He's extremely disappointed. She says that now her excuse is to him that things aren't sitting well with her. We don't see anything happen. We don't see what happens. She says that she's already made up her mind that there's some things that don't sit right with her, and maybe she doesn't want to talk to him about it. She's leaving him in the dark. He's like, I guess that's, I have no choice. I wish she would at least try to get to know me. Again, married at first sight. Wouldn't you want to get to know the man the first night? Okay, but so we next scene is they go through the night. We don't see anything. Next morning, we find out that she had hit him up at 2:30 in the morning to talk without cameras, basically telling him that this is not going to happen. She does not want him, and she doesn't think it'll happen. She has made this decision, and he looks completely confused. I mean, everybody's confused at this point. I'm thinking, okay, now, I'm thinking there's a situation now, if you remembered, I don't know if it was last season, but the season before, the guy, Chris. And he had met the girl, I can't remember her name, I'm horrible with names, but he ended up having an ex-fiance pregnant, and he ends up telling her the next morning, the new wife, I think her name's Paige. I mean, it was, first of all, there's red flags all over the wedding, before they even got married. This dude, you could just tell. And my whole thing is, married at first sight people, which I'm going to go into you guys after this, production, why are you not vetting these people as well as you should be? This dude had a whole ass ex-fiance, a whole pregnant ass ex-fiance, and I mean a goddamn Instagram to prove it. So when you guys say that you do all these background checks and stuff and you find out who these people really are, I knew this dude was a piece of shit the first time he opened his mouth, so how did you guys not? This dude Paige got gypped, and what I think about this season with Alyssa and Chris is Chris gets gypped. You have managed to find another couple that have extremely opposite views on life. They have nothing in common. I don't even know how this happened. And you know this just by the way she's acting and the way he's acting and the things that she said. So, she says in a talking head, they have nothing in common. They are not compatible. She sees red flags all over the place. They are completely different people. They live completely different lives. And she thinks they have completely different views, different hobbies. Why he doesn't have a snaggletooth, he has weird friends. What else does she say? They live their everyday lives differently. She sees no reason at all that they will ever even have a chance. And, yeah, that's it. She says that she will try to do the 8 weeks with him, no promises, and just see how far they can get. But in the talking head, she's telling us all these things that are like, she's just a complete brat. I mean, it's horrible. And he is like, look, did you not want to get married? Did you not want to get married at first sight? Like, what are you even doing here? That's my question. Why are you even here, girlfriend? Why did you sign up for this? You signed up for this reason. You knew going in that you said the worst that could happen is that you would meet a horrible guy, and it wouldn't work out, and that's it. Now let's see. If that's the worst that can happen, that's not. Listen, the worst that could happen is same thing, except you're actually really married and you have to go for an actual divorce, and you have to actually take it seriously. This, to me, Alyssa, you did not take this seriously, because all the things you're complaining about are things you take a chance on when you marry somebody at first sight. What I think your problem is that you wanted to be on TV. I think you wanted to be on TV, and you had no plans on even getting to. If anybody knows you, they know how you are. They've said this, okay? They said that you're extremely picky, and, okay, I'm jumping ahead, but let's just get back to who said this. Now, after she meets up with him the next morning again and tells him again there's no chance, like she did at 2:30 in the morning, they still have to meet up with each other's families. So, you go and you see Alyssa go to his poor, unsuspecting mom, and I guess his brother or something, and they have no idea how mean she's been. They have no idea what happened. So as she sits down, she looks completely annoyed. She looks like she could be, she wants to be anywhere but there, and they're so happy to see her. They're excited. They think that their son has finally met somebody. So, she doesn't say anything, and they're asking her questions, and she's just kind of like, surfacey answers. She does get to a point where she says that she wants to take it slow, and I don't know, like the mom is like basically thinking that like she's gonna have grandchildren soon, and I think they're telling her like that he's not condescending, that if he's giving you advice, it's to make you a better person, or to make you, this is what she says bothered her. Now, I'm going to try to see if I can word this right. She thinks he's condescending. The mom explains it as that he's not trying to say you're wrong or that you need to improve in areas. He thinks that you're a person is great already, so if he gives you advice, it's for you to be better than you already are and for them to be better together. I don't know. Anyway, it came off really weird, but that is like something that, is a difference of opinion on that, and she seems to like take that as like, the nail in the coffin. And then the brother, not knowing how she's already not into this guy and how she's already decided. The brother says, well, he's a realtor. You have to expect a level of him not being present. He's always in his phone, and he's always looking for the next big thing to sell. So just expect to come second, and his wife will never be number one. Now, if he only knew what she was already thinking, my hair's maybe, how is it like, that's not going to make anything better. He doesn't know this, but basically he just put the nail in the coffin for us, because he had no idea she doubted this crap, and there was like a 3% chance that she would give him a chance anyway. If that was anywhere in the universe, any chance at all, that probably killed it right there. So she says nothing. The mom and the brother are like talking to her, like, you get to know them. Of course, they just met. Okay, so then you pan to him sitting down with her family, which is her sister, her mom, and I think somebody else, like her dad or something. So, he looks like he's just done. He just can't believe this happened. He is like completely confused. He doesn't understand how this happened. How was he matched with somebody extremely the opposite of him? Where did the experts, how did they get this wrong? So he just sits there, and they start talking to him, and they think that, their daughter's doing good, and they're just getting to know each other, and they say she's a little picky, give her time. He just flat out says, look, she's already told me that she's not into this. She's made up her mind. She's already completely friend-zoned him, and he's confused. He doesn't understand. Why'd she come into this? The mom still tells him, like, this is like a cycle of abuse, right? The mom's like, okay, give her space. You guys just met. It's going to take time to get to know each other. You guys have to understand you guys are strangers. Mental note, guys. Married at first sight. Never met, never saw, never talked. Married. Lifeline commitment. You make that decision to marry a stranger. You have to expect some level of that. But this is not a process where you're dating your husband. You have an 8-week window to get to know each other. You're already married. You've already made that decision. Do I understand not staying together the first night? Not really, but maybe, I mean, like, if, now I wouldn't do it because I would marry a stranger. So me thinking that he might be a serial killer and kill me in my sleep, that's logical because I'm not deciding to marry a stranger. Goddamn here. These people are. So I think it's kind of sad that he spent the night alone and she didn't give him that chance. But, you know, who knows? I mean, did she find out that he was like, I don't know. Whatever. She's just a behind. I think she was just trying to get on TV. So the mom and the brother are pushing him to still try, not knowing that she's already roller coastered his emotions. Like I said, the cycle of abuse. He thinks everything's great. He meets this nice girl. He gets shut down. Then she comes back the next day and says, "Oh, there's a chance. I'll give it the 8 weeks." Sorry, guys, my hair's on my nerves. He has a little bit of a heightened emotion. He's a little bit excited. And then she says something in the end, shut down again. He's like, all right, I can't do this. Goes, talks to her family. They have him up again. He's like, I doubt this is going to work, but okay, cycle of abuse. He goes and he tries to put he says, if she tells me that there's a 1% chance, I'm still going to try. Now, you already got, like, to me, you already have that, like, what's it called, when you bond with your captor, or I don't know, whatever, the person that's, like, doing these mean things to you, like, you're already, like, starting to change who you are and starting to make yourself, less, I don't know, like, what do you call it? Like, he's breaking himself down for her, this woman who hasn't even, like, given him one inkling that she likes him. She doesn't even stand near him. She doesn't even anything. And any other, like, person in their right mind, I guess, all right, I'm going to take that back. He did decide to marry somebody at first sight. Okay, I'm going to take that back. Like I said, she has to expect a certain level of whatever she's expecting and get over it. I guess he should expect a certain level of, like, the girl maybe, like, standoffish, or maybe, I don't know. I guess this is something that you should expect, but you also have to remember, again, married at first sight. So, I don't know. This is basically the wrong show, I think, for her. This is not the right show for her. Because this isn't the right show for her. Anyway, so I don't think that there's a chance for these two, because when they fast forward to the actual honeymoon where they actually went on the plane together, not staying in the same room, they show activities. She's not talking to him. She hasn't even spoken to him. Nothing. There's nothing there. She has made the decision by this point, day 2, that he is not anybody she'll ever be with. He is the opposite of what she wants. And yeah, like, she's a complete bitch. And I feel bad for him. He did get gypped. But you know what? That's part of the expert's problem too. And after we go through the couples, I'll get into that. Moving on. Let's go to, Steve and Noi. Love them. Now, Steve seems like this average, tall, dark, and handsome dude. She's a little petite girl. She's very sweet. They seem very genuine. They seem very caring. They seem very respectful. They have great families. What I can say about them is I believe that they're going to last. I believe they did this for the right reasons. I believe Noi has a little bit of a wild side, but I think that she is the perfect mix of what he needs. I think he's the perfect mix of what she needs based on what they've told us and the way they interact. It's really sweet. They're very caring, like, very, like, just very respectful. They're not jumping ahead. They're not, they don't have any outrageous expectations. They seem great. Like, the only thing with them is, okay, so now Steve has no job now. But Steve must have the money to have no job. He must have had money put away, or he's done something where he can have time to take off. He said that he wanted to clear his head. He traveled for a little bit to make sure he was in the right space and he was in the right, the best version of himself for this process. So, gotta love him, right? But Noi's a little concerned about him not working. Understandable, she doesn't know him, but he seems like the kind of guy who has that mailbox money. He might have investments. He might have mailbox money where, he's just set himself up where he can do this. He's freelancing work. I forget what he does, but so when they go, they don't consummate the marriage. Great, whatever. It's only the first night, but they have a sweet night. Seems like they have things in common, and they go to the next morning where they meet up with each other's family. Seems cool. I mean, now Noi's family kind of questions him about the job thing, which to me, it seems like, okay, I forgot. The mom and Noi's brother, who we meet the night before as her brother Michael, is now Sriracha, Michael's other identity. So he's Sriracha, the spicy sister, but really he's a brother. So he's in there, and he's kind of more interested in Steve instead of how Steve and Noi's night went. And he's kind of more worried about it, which I understand. But he's like kind of like very judgy. I mean, he's like, what are your intentions? Well, they're already married, so. But the mom says, like, I want grandchildren. And he wants children, so does Noi. But again, the topic of job comes up, and she's like, you need to have a job. Now, you don't need to have a job. You need to have an income. You need to have a stable income, whether that's investments, whether he's retired. He doesn't actually have to have a job, lady. There's people in this world that actually don't work, that have income. And I don't mean drug dealers. I'm talking about real income. He's obviously set himself up that Noi's okay with this. He doesn't have to have a job, sister, so back up. But anyway, that's my only thorn with them, I guess you could say, is the mom's a little, whatever, it's going to be, you have to expect that. But I think Steve's a little annoyed, and he just wants them to not worry about it, because I think he's fine. Noi's just a sweetheart. She's so sweet. So she goes and she talks to Steve's family. And it's just like an amazing conversation. They're very touched by her. She's very touched by them. She actually starts crying at one point with the happy, I think it's something they said that touched her heart, and it was amazing. It was like, oh, like, good. Like, okay, maybe the producers can redeem themselves, because they have put some real shitty people on these shows and matched up some shitty people. But these couples, all but the one, seem like they might work out. I might be biting my tongue with that, but... So, anyway, we have Steve and Noi. They seem great. I think they're going to last. All right, let's move on. Jasmina and Michael. Now, the last two couples, gorgeous. We have Jasmina and Michael, and I think his name is Alban. I think that's how you say it, and Katina. Okay, let's start with Jasmina and Michael. They kind of remind me of the couple that is on 2 or 3 seasons ago. Not Woody and his, see, I'm bad with names, but they're on the after show with Jeff D and I forget their names. I forget. They remind me of. Anyway, they remind me of a couple that just had a baby. A past couple from Married at First Sight. I think that they're gonna last. I think they both are in this for the right reasons. They didn't consummate the marriage, but they had a decent night, and the only thing concerning for Jasmina's family is he's a little, worst case scenario type of person, but so am I, and, people say I'm paranoid. I don't call it paranoia, I call it intuition, and I think you can never be too careful, especially in this world. So, if he looks at things like that, it could be a little negative, but he, seems like he has all the right intentions, and so does Jasmina. She's beautiful, she's educated, she's respectful, she's, they're giving each other a chance. They seem okay. I think that they have a good chance. If I was going to pick another couple that maybe not make it, I would say them, only because I didn't see a lot of chemistry with them, but I've seen that before too, and they've ended up lasting. So I like Jasmina and Michael. All the ladies seem to get along really well, except for ALYSSA, which we're getting in. ALYSSA's a bitch. That's the one that decided off the bat after 18 hours that this man is not for her. Okay, so then we have Katina and Alawan. I think that's how you say it. Now, both party animals. He was a complete player. He admits to this. He decides he's ready to settle down, and instead of dating, he decides to sign up for the show because he's ready now. Do I believe him? I think I do, because I think he believes it. I think that he believes himself. But do I think he can do it? I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll take back that. I think maybe Katina and Michael might have a better chance. Now, I only say this because he was a player. He's never, he admits sitting at the family brunch that he hasn't cuddled with a woman ever because his cuddle game is off. He's, Katina, or not Katina. Yeah, Katina says. Katina's gorgeous. Katina has issue with with Ajuan only because this dude rambled so much after the wedding. It was like, you're gorgeous, you're this, you're that. And he's like overly excited, but it was cute. It was really cute because I could tell that he thought she was hot, and you could tell that Michael. I mean, as much as I'm gonna say O. I'm gonna call him O because I can't pronounce his name. It's OLAJOWAN. I'm just gonna say O. He definitely looks like a player. He admits it. But he's ready to settle down. She's gorgeous, and I think that her being hot was a relief to him because of his, he's immature. But I think that made him extremely happy, and the fact that she seemed like she was into him, and she has a good head on her shoulders. Sorry, guys, my hair's annoying. I was in the middle of doing my hair earlier, guys. I told you this my other pre-record, and sister-wise, it triggered me so bad that I said, screw it. I'm just gonna get on right now and record while my thoughts are still fresh. So no extension. But yeah, so I can close this now. But so with them, they said they didn't consummate the marriage. She said his cuddle game's off. The player hasn't cuddled in years, means that he's probably just at the door. I think that they will be attracted to each other, and I think that they will confuse that for chemistry. I don't know, chemistry, because she seemed a little annoyed with his ring. He was so excited. So make it back to that. He was so excited he wouldn't stop talking, and she was just like, she couldn't even process the first sentence, and he was on to the next. So she's like, no, I'm exhausted. But I think that that'll calm down, and I think that they have a chance as well. But like I said, the only thing I say about him is he was a player. He's never even been this close to a woman, like marrying a woman. So him to just decide to get married at first sight, first thing he said, check off the list is she's hot. But she seems like she is here for the right reasons. She's attracted to him. I think that his rambling and all that will wear off, and I think that they'll do good. Now, like I said, this is the first time that I've had faith in almost all of the couples. But then you get to Chris and Alyssa, and that is like, how did the experts get it so? Okay, I anybody can lie on paper, right? But I mean, she is just not into this. I don't think it's him. She's not into this. Like, now if we think back, there's other seasons where the producers should have picked up that these people were not, had nothing in common. Now, let's refer back to last season. Now, because I'm bad with names, I'm going to just describe it. It was the same season with Paige and Chris. Chris, the guy who got the girl pregnant during this process, his ex-fiance. There was another couple, tall guy, Haley and somebody. Okay, they were complete opposites. I don't know how the experts even matched them. They obviously didn't make it. They were mean, nasty. She was mean and nasty to him. It just didn't work. I mean, she ended up like gaslighting him about a bracelet. It's horrible. Like, the experts, I don't know how they screwed that up. To me, be a little more like, I don't know, vet them like you vet the other people, or do you? I mean, is Bravo a part of Lifetime? Because if Bravo's part of Lifetime, that would make sense how you get that fucked up. So we have this process that you're supposed to find out now. You should know whether they want children or not. That should be like the second question on these questionnaires. Do you want children? These couples, they were on a completely different timeline with that, so why would you match them? They weren't around the same age. They had nothing in common. They had zero hobbies in common. They even said that on paper. They even looks. They asked for. They preferred other, people that look differently than that. The experts always think they know best, but when you have these major conflicting goals like marriage and kids, that's a big one, dude. Like, producers, like, think about that. So, Chris and Paige. I mean, come on. The second this guy opens his mouth, he's all nothing but bullshit. Bullshit comes out of his mouth. So you guys should have picked up on him selling you a bunch of bullshit in his interviews. So you got that fucked up. So that was 2 couples on 1 season. And I think that season, nobody made it, actually. Let me think. Was that Mirla? I might be getting seasons confused. But the season with Mirla and Gil last season, you got that messed up because they had 0 in common. She wanted something completely different than he did. Yeah, and that guy went through hell. Like, they didn't last either. And then you had, okay, the biggest one was 2 or 3 seasons ago, we had Christina, and I can't remember the guy's name, but, yeah, she was jobless, homeless, and a meth addict. And you guys got her on the show. I don't know how you got it. I mean, she must have lied about her job. She admitted on camera that she was homeless. He picked up on it. The second that he said they go to their house to get their clothes to move in with each other, she admits that she's living in her car because she's a stewardess on, for traveling airplanes. And she travels so much that she let her apartment go because she knew she was on this show, this process, and that they would give her a place to live for free when she gets married to the stranger. So she banked on the process giving her a place to live and a paycheck. We don't find this out till I kind of picked up on it in the very beginning, but dude, he's like, that's kind of weird. Why she didn't have a house, but okay, maybe she does travel a lot. He's like, I'll give that the benefit of the doubt. She ends up being completely ignorant. I mean, this dude's nothing. They are nothing alike. Nothing. He doesn't like to try new things. He doesn't like to travel. He's like a homebody. She's a stewardess. She's been everywhere. She's cultured. But she's also a bitch. And she snaps out on him the entire time they're on vacation. I mean, on their honeymoon. Now, this is Christina and this dude. She, I don't know why I'm going into it so much, but let me just tell you where I get the meth head thing from. She admitted about the homeless thing, the job thing. So you guys got that screwed up. She had no job. She had no place to live. She tells him she's 3 days in. She's being so mean to him, and she apologizes because she signed up for the process, and by the time they got to the wedding day, she has ADHD, and she wasn't able to fill her Adderall, her medication, by the day of the wedding. So that's why she's been so snappy, and she just got her medicine, so now she's not going to be snappy, and she'll be nicer to him. Let me tell you this. First of all, if you have a prescription of Adderall, which I've had since I was 17, listen, you go every month, you make sure you don't go without your medicine. Something like this, you have your medicine. Why weren't they ready? Unless you abuse them, unless you sell them and you buy meth with your money. I don't know, Christina. You're a fucking whack job. You were a whack job. And you say this stuff, but you completely look the opposite. You look like one, you acted like one. So it looks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's a duck, bitch. But anyway, my whole point is, you guys vetted her, and she was, so even during the process too, she thinks that because she's a bitch to him. She wants nothing to do with him. She tells them, the camera, she's like, we can't even talk. You guys want us to talk? I can't have a conversation with him. It's like pulling teeth. Completely rude. She also tells us she thinks he's gay and that he's into men because he's not into her. He's not into you because you're a lying meth head and you're mean. But she says all these things, and then she ends up threatening him off camera and says that if you don't start showing me attention, I'm going to tell everybody you're gay. But anyway, that was 2 or 3 seasons ago, guys. You think you start vetting these people even a little bit better, but you haven't. But anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but I'm getting goofy. So yeah, that's Married at First Sight. They're my predictions. All couples except for ALYSSA and Chris, because they're already gone. I haven't checked socials, so you guys need to do better because she's horrible. She's a horrible person. Horrible person. So, I mean, you can even go in as far as you guys say that sometimes you don't go by, they tell you what looks they like and what their type is, and you guys just don't listen to it sometimes, and it works sometimes. But she even did it last season with, what's her face? The redhead and the guy, he said she's not my type, or she's not my type at all, and they end up not working out anyway. But when you write down on paper what your type is and you give them the opposite, also she's a city girl who's a country girl. So I think that you guys, the producers of Married at First Sight, do this purposely for the drama, because you have a feeling that if all of them get along, then we're not going to watch. That if there's no conflict, we're not going to watch. But you also, guys, this is like marriage. Like, when you have these people get married, I mean, I understand you got to play a game, but like, you can produce storylines within the couples, and you can actually match people that actually have a lot in common, more than just not wanting kids, and produce storylines out of it. We've done it before. This hooking up each other with people that, like, if you really want to get technical, we go back 4 or 5 seasons. The guy from Philly, he was a whole ass gay guy. Like, he was into dudes. He was even had himself in a relationship on Facebook with a guy and went on the show. How did you guys not figure that out? How didn't you see his Facebook? Why did you keep going? My thing is, you put these women and these men in these situations, and you put them in a toxic situation for television, for storylines. And when I say toxic, I'm talking about Chris and Paige. You kept telling her to keep going, to keep going. He was dragging her. I mean, it was horrible. And you guys kept pushing it. That, to me, tells me that you knew he was a piece of crap. And if you didn't, when you found out, you still pushed her to go to the 8 weeks. And I'm sure it traumatized her. But, so Married at First Sight, you guys are a pretty established show. So maybe you guys do a little better. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll do a recap of Married at First Sight every week. So, guys, if you agree with me, disagree with me, I definitely want your thoughts on this. If you watch Married at First Sight, please leave it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know your predictions. I don't know who's going to see this today, but I should make this separate. But I'm going to set up some lives where I'm going to have them scheduled, and it's going to be a set schedule every week. So I'm putting that out there today. Don't know why. All right, guys. This was Married at First Sight. My predictions on week 2. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week.